Hello and welcome back. So, AirNeoBurgh needs to expand, and in order to do that, we need to create more airports for lines to go to. So, in this episode, we're going to be looking around the area of Dover and Littlehampton. We want to create a airport that will service these two cities, and if we can tie in other cities in the area, such as Ilkley, Swindon, it is only a good thing. So, without further ado, let's crack on. So to begin with, we need to work out where exactly we're going to put the airport. And to do that, we need to just feel out areas. So this is towards the south of Dover. We could put it up on the hill, and then the pilots wouldn't have to ascend to too much of an elevation, considering they'd probably be starting about 200 meters above sea level. This might be a good spot. It's very open, and to be honest with you, it's quite a decent amount of space. The only thing holding it back is the hills in this area. I mean, it's got a good amount of space, so we could just flatten it out. It's enough space for an airport. The only problem is the emission cone. But that can be managed, and to be honest with you, this is quite a good contender because it's a decent amount of space. So maybe shout out to that chap who reminded me a few episodes back to check the roads. I guess he was right, but it wasn't around Bawtry, it was here near Dover. And my hat goes off to you. You were completely right. So maybe I need to put these roads back in. But truth be told, I mean, this is quite a decent area in its own right for an airport. So let's explore that a little, because it's not necessarily flat, but we have a fair amount of space. Look at that. I mean, these roads don't have a great deal of traffic. And I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, there's not many people going around this area, and there's alternate routes around, and we can probably rework this so that it avoids this. I think this might be a really good spot, because we can land them in this way and take off that way, so it's away from all the other cities. You've got a great mountain range here which will shield both Swindon and Ilkley, and quite frankly, it's so close to the other cities. I think that might be the best bet. I don't think this is currently in use, so we could take this bridge out if we wanted. Let's go ahead and do that. I feel bad, this bridge has been here for so long, but it's simply not being used at the moment. I wonder what happens if you delete, like, it just stands on its own. We can leave that tunnel as is, there's no need to remove that stuff. And then if we were to put this in, I think somewhere around here would probably be great. So if we just take these back, and I'll do the same here. I literally just put that road back in. This will need to go underneath, so what we could do is just try and flatten this out a little bit so that we can create a tunnel underneath. In fact, let's create a little plateau. We might as well smooth out the area for the airport, but we don't want these harsh edges, so let's just go ahead and actually we could just go out to this bit. Yeah, so let's create a nice little plateau for the airport. Hopefully that'll help. So we replace the tunnel, and that means that the previous line works perfectly fine. But then we had a bit of a nightmare with placement. So initially the tunnel underneath was colliding with the airport, so it needed to be raised to a certain point. So we thought, perfect, we place it here, and then all of a sudden the lights on the end of the runway were colliding with that oil well. So we did it all over again, and ironically it's higher than the plateau. But all that being said, I saw this as a fantastic opportunity to use the smooth tool. So after placing the airport, we went ahead and went on a smoothing spree. Right, so if we put this road in now, from here up to here, it's automatically tunneled. It's caused a bit of an issue there, so we don't want it to be a crossing. Yeah, that seems about right. Now, this road that's coming down here becomes a bit of an issue. Oh, got a little bit of levitating. It's almost like a little fighter craft, isn't it? Like something from Star Wars. Just with a bit of track on it. Oh no, they're coming in for the bombing run. Pew 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 pew. Oh god. Oh no, I don't want to delete that. This might be a bit of an issue, but hopefully we can tunnel underneath that. Just like that. There we go. And I suppose if anything's coming down here, it might want to connect into this. So we can do, say, a road here that comes back around, connects in there, and we want to take out the traffic lights, of course. Let's just take that out there so that we can delete that bit, and then hopefully we can do a connection in here. Delete that. Okay, awesome. I think the next step would probably be maybe a train line, a train station to connect into the cities that are nearby. Or we could use trams or buses. It just seems a bit slower then, doesn't it? It's almost like this bridge was built for this. Look, we can literally do a line straight through down to here. This might need to go out a little bit more away from the train station if we were to build that in. Over here, yeah, it's going to be tricky with Dover. I suppose we could move these over. Would we connect in Bawtry? I mean, it's fairly close. So what we could do is like one from Littlehampton up to the train station over to Bawtry, and one from, say, Ilkley Swindon up here to Dover, maybe? I mean, we could literally make it all one line. Somehow did like a figure of 8. So the first step for that would be to put in this road. So I'm going to go with a medium country road. Yeah, it's really in the mountain there, but that will be fine, I think. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and build this in as best I can, and we can see how it goes. First things first, let's make the passenger buildings a little bit bigger, because there may well be quite a bit of passengers waiting for some of the larger cities in the game. There we go, quite a nice big station. So if we come down here, first things first, we'll need to adapt this station so that we can put in another platform. Oh, sweet, that fits in without having to remove anything. Let's just put in some wavy bits. Very nice. Oh, we can't quite line them up. That's annoying. What if we took out this corner? Is that the right size? It might need to be the larger ones, actually. There we go. It's very big. It's a very big station. But Littlehampton is growing, and wow, it's really grown recently. Let's take this a little bit further back, because we're more or less going to be doing a similar sort of route. Just don't want that to collide there. It doesn't need to be too high, so we can take it down to where it works. Potentially things coming down this way might want to go off towards Dover, or West Ham, sorry. So it would probably be worth putting in a connection. So now what happens if we put the tracks in like this? Oh, it actually tunnels it. I guess it needs to be a certain drop in order for it to work. But that works. So we'll use that. So then we would want that to come up here. So if we adapt Bawtry up here. Let's just double check how that aligns. So I'll do the same sort of thing with the wavy bits in the middle. So now we need this to connect in. It's going to be tricky here. There's no denying that. If we bring that up to where it's good, then those will thread just underneath each other quite nicely. Perfect. Well, first off, let's get rid of the roads so they're not influencing the train line. Because ultimately the roads are a lot easier to put in than train lines are. Look at that, it's already done a bridge, so we could probably work with that. There we go. Okay, there we go. So this will be the exit out of Bawtry. And then what happens if we just connect this into here? It does not interact with that other line, and that's the only one that's really in the way. Sweet, we will go with that. This will be a really interesting line, and it will connect up Littlehampton to Bawtry, which will be quite nice. So we need to connect in Ilkley Swindon down here as well. Now this one's already quite busy, so maybe we can use this opportunity to actually make it a little bit larger as well. I'm guessing that Ilkley and Swindon have really taken off with having access to public transport, which is really nice. Let's do similar to what we've been doing, upgrading these to have these central wavy bits. I don't know what the technical term for this one is. Special platform roof. As opposed to platform roof. This one is special. I mean, it's very nice. I can see why it is special, because it is. It's interesting that you have to put, well, you don't have to put roofs in, but you can put roofs in, but there is no rain in the game. Hey everyone, Future Rob here. So we had a lot of trouble trying to get this line in, because there's a train line just in the mountain there, and trying to get it perfectly sat on the other end as well was a real tricky one. So I'm just cutting this one down so that you don't have to sit through it too much. But yeah, we managed to get it all in, and we managed to get it so that it doesn't affect anything else in the area, and it's working. That's perfect. So we just need to go ahead and clean up the roads here. So we're going to replace what we removed there, and we're going to put in the road over the railway here, and just connect it up with that medium country road. Sweet. Okay, so the last one would be Dover. Save the hardest for last. And we can put that cargo stop here. Okay, cool. So we've got our track in. What I might do is just run it along the side of this one, so that it goes into the tunnel correctly. And we could even take this a little bit further back, make sure that will go in there. Yep, it will. Truth be told, I did not think we would be able to do this, but I am so glad that we've been able to, because quite frankly this will be a huge benefit for all these cities, all 5 of them. And quite frankly, it's in a place where hopefully it won't affect the emissions. In fact, let's just double check the lines here. So if we put a line here down to Loughton, yep, that's exactly how we want it to take off, because we don't want it to affect these other cities. Oh, So good. Just going to do some smoothing here because it looks quite bad.
One eternity later.
We do need to do the train lines. So it would be from here to here to here, and then back. And it would be from here to here to here and back. Right. Let's put a couple of planes on these lines. So we will go for the Boeing 737s again. What's going on here? Passengers cannot... Oh! Oh. Oh. These are meant to be the passenger versions, not the cargo versions. My bad. Oh, it's coming together. Right, we just need trains on these train lines now. So if we go ahead and put those in, we'll need some depots to do so. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, that is a lot higher than it looked. Okay, no thank you. How can I do this without it causing too many issues? Maybe I can do like a line here, and no. Okay. I mean, it should be fine with just one, but I'd rather have both. So if we flip that around, it should just connect to it, shouldn't it? Yeah. I tell you what we'll do. It's a bit unorthodox just for like an entry line, but we'll put in a line like this. Stops, and then we can get a train. So I think what we'll go for is probably the commuter trains. I don't think we really need to go with like the dual stocks for such a line as this. I think we should be fine with just the commuter train. So if we put that on that line, we'll have to name them in a second as well. We can do the other one down here. And actually it's really good for these other lines. If we do put a depot down here, trains on these other lines should we need to, or they can go back if they need to. And if we put another commuter train on this one, that should be good. All right, awesome. So let's name these. So first off, let's call this what it is. Dover. We'll go with 4 letters as we have with the others. So let's just copy the naming convention from the other one. Oh, this is so exciting. We're getting more lines in. This one would be DOVR to Hailsham. Take off the Lowton. I'm just going to call these the Air Express. Dover. Let's do it Ilkley and Swindon. And let's update this to an and. And then let's take that name, paste it in here, and call it the Bawtry Little Hampton. There we have it. So the first planes are getting on the track. First planes are getting in the air. So let's keep a sharp eye on the emissions because we really don't want to affect Dover's residential area. Hopefully it should be fine. It looks like this one's already out of the way. And now that this airport is here, I reckon that all the other airports are going to get a lot busier. Like this one down here. Look at that. No one wants to go to Helsham. Sorry, Helsham. However, 7 people are already going to Dover. So yeah, I would say that's a resounding success. So here's just the showcase of the lines that we've got. It's from Bawtry to Littlehampton. So let's just speed through the area that doesn't have our lines. And then we've got Dover here on the right. It's just in the shadow of that mountain on the other side of Bawtry. And this is quite a nice little roll round the Dover, because it's quite a large city. It's quite nice. So we've got the airport here in the shadow of the hill, in the shadow of Dover, as you will. And just here we've got a nice view of Littlehampton. So there is the train station at that airport. I anticipate it's going to get very busy because, quite frankly, it's between some very large cities. So once we hook up more stuff, it's going to get busier. So we've got the train station here for Littlehampton. You can see those wavy roofs, or sorry, the special roofs, as the game calls them. And we're just going to do a little fly around Littlehampton here. We've got the factory. I think it's for tools, and it's either tools or machines. And then we've got a really nice view down here. So we set out at the beginning of this episode to create an airport near that really services Dover and Littlehampton, and I think we've done a fantastic job. I think we've really achieved our goals here. Okay, sweet. So we've got our Dover airport here. It's DOVR. And we've also linked in Littlehampton, Ilkley and Swindon, Dover, and also Bawtry to it. So that's created a really interesting little crisscross of train connections. And I hope the train lines are actually quite popular on their own, because we've got a train leave here with 20 passengers. So that's almost what we need to break even for one of the plane lines. However, I suspect that some of those are going to go straight up to Dover and ignore the look at this, 3 want to go to Ilkley Swindon. So not everyone wants to go to the airport. Some people want to go to just generally up to the other city. So that's really nice to see that those lines are actually getting a fair bit of use, and there's a fair bit of demand for them, considering this is literally like just after us putting them in. I can only imagine that they'll grow with time and hopefully do fairly well. We've also put the roads back in, so this link here was severed before, so that's now back together, and we've actually worked on some of the connections through this area to put this airport in, and yeah, I think it's going to do quite well. So let's see how it does. Only time will tell. The other airport line that we've got here, I mean, it's not taken too many people just yet, but it's early days yet still. And oh wow, that's already got 20 people on it. What? Sweet. I wish it wouldn't play that downtown Ontario thing every single time. So that's got 20 people on it. That's going to do quite well, I think. This line into Dover, because it's between a lot of big cities, and that is a recipe for making sweet money. Not that the public transport is necessarily just for making money, but it is nice when they look, this one's got 6, so that's doing better than it was before. I mean, it's already 3 times what we did last year, so that's good. yeah, so what I might do is let this run a little bit. Maybe watch some of the airplanes going around. Oh, look at that. You can see people in the terminal. Ah, that's pretty cool. They've just gone onto this plane. We've got 24 people on this plane. Yeah. So we're at 24 people. So if the costs are the same for the last, or the value and the tickets are the same as the previous one, we should be making money off of this line. And look at that, we're at 25 now. This is pretty decent. 26. We're just slowly getting more and more people as time goes on. Okay, so I thought I'd use this opportunity to just have a little bit of a conflab with you guys. So this is just the aeroplane going backwards and forwards with the Hailsham airport, back to Dover and what have you. And I thought I'd use this opportunity to talk about editing these videos. I'm really enjoying it. It is a lot of a time-consuming thing. I don't even know if that makes sense. It's basically just taking a lot more time than I anticipated. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to continue editing them. I hope that the quality shows. And if you have been a viewer since some of the first episodes, then hopefully you've noticed a good difference. If you haven't, then I am really sorry. It's always something that I'm endeavoring to try and improve, but obviously it's very subjective about these things. So anyway, I thought I'd approach the tiger, or maybe more of a grizzly bear in the room, which is, well, when this episode goes out, in theory I should have also already done some live streams on City Skylines 2. I know there's a lot of controversy around that game, but it is something that I'm just trying to stay impartial about. I'll give my honest opinion. I just want to enjoy it, because I really enjoyed the first City Skylines, and I've got big hopes, but I'm not necessarily deaf to it all, with the problems that have come to light. But yeah, basically I'm going to continue to try and do these Transport Fever videos alongside doing some City Skylines 2 stuff. So yeah, thanks. Bye. Okay, so we've run it for a little while. We're starting to see passengers to Hailsham. If we check our other line, we actually have quite a few waiting to go to Dover, which is quite refreshing compared to the other line, which is starting to see more passengers. It's just taking a while for it to take off, no pun intended. Okay, so yeah, I'm really quite happy with this. How are things going with these lines? Wow, 174 passengers. What? It's currently got 99 people on it. Right, so if it's got 99 people on it, how many people get off? So it went down to like 60 something. I'm guessing they're going this way. Maybe they're going up to like Dover, because they haven't gone in there, or at least not that I can see. That is bananas. We could potentially bring the Dover EW line down here, so it's a more direct route. In fact, yeah, let's do that, because I doubt Dover EW really gets too much use. There we go. Let's fix that one up. Okay, so we've also just connected it in this line down here, because it came down this road anyway, so it makes sense to just extend it out to Dover Airport, where the line was coming out of there. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Hopefully once we get even more airports in the map, with more connections to different places, this will do even better. I've got to say, I'm really glad to see that the train lines that we put in between, say, Bawtry and Littlehampton, and Dover and Ilkley, Swindon are really quite popular just in their own right, because people are going between these different cities using the Dover airport station as almost like a crossing point to go to different places in the area. Obviously, for things like Littlehampton, we already had links to Ilkley Swindon, so and likewise Dover to Bawtry, but between, say, Bawtry and Ilkley Swindon, in fact, there is a direct there's a direct route there, but there wasn't one to, say, Littlehampton. And for Littlehampton, there wasn't really one to Dover other than a bus route, which isn't really getting much use from what I can tell. Yeah, it's dwindling a little bit, especially lately, which is understandable because we now have a proper train route that kind of connects up the two. So yeah, I think that's going to get busier and busier as time goes on. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how things are going. I hope that you are too. Let me know what you think with your thumbs. If your thumbs don't cut it, then let me know with a comment. But as always, have a great rest of your day. Cheers. Bye.